There is a direction you have never looked. Not up, not down, not left, right, forward, or back. A direction that is at a perfect right angle to everything you can point at right now. And no matter how hard you turn your head, you will never see it. It's not hidden in space. It's hidden in you. Your brain is a machine built to lock you inside 3 dimensions. And it's very good at its job.
Because here's what nobody tells you. A creature living in this missing direction wouldn't need to open your front door to get inside your house. It wouldn't need to cut you open to reach your heart. To it, the walls around you and the skin around your organs would be suggestions. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what that creature sees when it looks at you. I'll hand you a trick used by Einstein himself that lets you build a 4-dimensional object in your mind tonight.
And I'll take you inside the real Victorian cult that used this idea to talk to the dead, before science exposed what was actually going on. And to be clear, this is not fantasy. This is the same 4th dimension a schoolmaster mapped in 1884 that Einstein's own professor used to rebuild the universe in 1907, and that a peer-reviewed lab recently tried to teach human beings to actually perceive.
Let's start with the trap you're standing in. So why can't you see this direction? Let me tell you about a man who was, mathematically, you. In 1884, an English headmaster named Edwin Abbott published a strange little book about a world with only 2 dimensions, a flat plane called Flatland. Its hero is a square. He's never known anything but length and width. Up is a word with no meaning to him. Then, one day, a sphere from our 3-dimensional world drifts down through his flat universe. The square doesn't see a sphere. He can't. He sees a dot appear out of nowhere. The dot swells into a growing circle, then the circle shrinks, then it collapses to a point and vanishes. To the square, a solid object materialized from nothing, changed size by itself, and disappeared into thin air. It looks like a miracle, or a ghost. Now flip it up 1 level, because you are the square. If a 4-dimensional being passed through our world, you'd see a blob appear from nowhere, morph, and vanish. And here's the part that should make the hair on your neck stand up. In Flatland, the sphere could look down onto the square and see straight into his sealed house, even see inside his body, without ever crossing a wall. A 4-dimensional being has that exact power over you, right now. Your closed rooms have no roof to it. Your ribcage isn't a barrier. That's not magic. That's just geometry looking down. But if we're trapped like the square, how do we know 4D objects even exist? Because we can build one with pure logic. And it has a name. Watch this. We're going to construct a 4-dimensional object, step by step, and you'll be able to follow every move, right up until the last one, where your brain hits a wall. Start with a single point. Drag it, and you draw a line, 1 dimension. Take that line and drag it sideways. You sweep out a square, 2 dimensions. Lift the square straight up. It sweeps out a cube. Now, do it 1 more time. Push the cube in a brand new direction, the one at a right angle to all 3 you already have, and it sweeps out a tesseract, a 4-dimensional cube. That word, tesseract, was coined in the late 1800s by a mathematician named Charles Howard Hinton, from Greek roots meaning 4 rays. And even though you can't picture it, you can count it exactly. A tesseract has 16 corners, 32 edges, 24 square faces, and it's built out of 8 whole cubes folded together through the 4th direction. Here's the tool you take away. you can meet a tesseract as a shadow. A cube held in sunlight throws a flat, two-dimensional shadow on the wall, right? Then a four-dimensional cube throws a three-dimensional shadow into our world. Those hypnotic cube inside a cube animations you've seen, that's not the tesseract itself. That's its shadow, rotating. You've been looking at 4D your whole life and calling it a screensaver. So the fourth dimension of space is real and buildable. But there's a second fourth dimension, one you're moving through at this exact second, whether you like it or not. You didn't have to go looking for this one. You're traveling through it as you watch this, and you can't stop. In 1905, a patent clerk named Albert Einstein rewrote physics with special relativity. But it was his old mathematics professor, Hermann Minkowski, who in 1907 saw the deeper shape of it. Minkowski realized Einstein's universe only made sense if you stopped treating space and time as separate things and fused them into a single four-dimensional fabric, spacetime. 3 axes for space, 1 axis for time. He announced it with a line that still sounds like a prophecy. From now on, space alone and time alone are doomed to fade into mere shadows. Only their union survives. Einstein, watching mathematicians take over his theory, half joked that he could barely understand his own work anymore.
Here's why that matters to your body specifically. In this model, sitting perfectly still is impossible. Even frozen in your chair, not moving an inch through space, you are hurtling forward along the time axis into the future at a fixed rate.
You are, at this moment, a four-dimensional object smeared out across time. A long world line stretching from your birth to your death. The you reading this is a single slice of that shape. You've never once experienced yourself whole. So we've got 2 fourth dimensions, one of space, one of time. Both invisible, both provable. Which is exactly why a century ago, people decided this hidden dimension was where the dead were hiding. And that's where our story turns dark. Remember the sphere in Flatland? Appearing from nowhere, passing through sealed walls, seeing inside bodies? In the 1870s, some very serious scientists looked at that idea and had a terrifying thought. That's exactly what a ghost does. If four-dimensional beings existed, they could reach into our sealed world, move objects through solid matter, and vanish. No walls required. And so the fourth dimension stopped being math and became a doorway to the afterlife. A respected German astrophysicist named Johann Zöllner became convinced. He teamed up with an American medium, Henry Slade, and ran experiments. Most famously, asking spirits to tie knots in a loop of cords sealed at both ends. In 3 dimensions, that's impossible. But a 4-dimensional being could do it effortlessly. When knots appeared, Zöllner declared it proof. Intelligent beings were reaching in from higher space. Critics of the era mocked it mercilessly, joking that these 4th-dimensional imps were also why toast always lands butter side down. Meanwhile, Charles Hinton, the man who named the Tesseract, sold sets of colored cubes and taught followers to memorize and mentally assemble them to see into hyperspace. Devotees wrote that they did glimpse something, and that it was disturbing, even addictive. It was rumored that a few who stared into the cubes too long simply went mad. And then the whole thing collapsed. Henry Slade was exposed as a stage trickster, a sleight-of-hand fraud. Investigators later reported that Zöllner himself may have been of unsound mind at the time, desperate to prove a conclusion he'd already fallen in love with. The 4th dimension was quietly evicted from the séance room and handed back to the mathematicians. Case closed. Except, here's the twist inside the twist. What the Victorians faked
modern neuroscience is starting to find is partly real, in a way far stranger than any ghost.
Because for a century, the textbook answer was absolute. Humans can never perceive 4 dimensions. We have 3D brains. End of story. But recently, researchers put people inside virtual reality and showed them genuinely 4-dimensional objects, hypercubes twisting and moving. Then they asked a hard question. Can you tell when this 4D shape is moving rigidly, like a solid, versus warping? And people could. Their accuracy with 4-dimensional objects was comparable to their accuracy with ordinary cubes.
The scientists were careful. They don't claim these people saw 4D the way you see this screen. They called it beautifully 3.5D perception. Not a full 4th dimension, but not the flat nothing we assumed either. The wall in your brain that everyone said was solid turns out to have a crack in it. So here's the single thing to actually do. The same method Einstein used, and it works tonight. It's called dimensional analogy, and it's this. Whenever a 4-dimensional problem breaks your brain, drop it down 1 floor. Ask the same question in Flatland first, where you have God's eye vision. Solve it there, then push the answer up 1 level. Try it right now. Picture the sphere passing through the square's flat world. Dot, growing circle, shrinking circle, gone. Hold that. Then push it up. A hypersphere passing through our world would appear as a dot, swell into a growing sphere, shrink, and vanish. You just watched a 4-dimensional object move through space in your mind. That aha you felt? That's the crack widening. Do that exercise 3 nights in a row, and hyperspace stops being a word and starts being an intuition. But notice what we just did. We proved a 4th dimension is real, and it left us with a much more dangerous question. Because if a dimension this obvious was hiding right under our noses this whole time, how many more are there? Physicists will tell you the real number might not be 4. It might be 10 or 11. Most of them curled up so small that an entire universe could be folded inside the width of an atom. I built the next video to take you there, into the extra dimensions that string theory says are wrapped around every point in the room you're sitting in right now. It's already on screen. Step through it.